Welcome to the Motivational Midwife. My name is Lynn Jones, and today we're going to be looking at supporting informed choice. I now do a lot of bank work because technically I've retired from the NHS, although I haven't really stopped working ever. So I do a lot of bank work, and I choose to do a lot of the booking appointments. So those first appointments when we see women and birthing people and their families. And I don't know why it should have surprised me, but it kind of saddened me, the number of people that I was speaking to that were completely oblivious to the fact that they do have choice in their pregnancy, their birth, and their postnatal period. They were totally unaware that they had choice in lots of different aspects of childbirth. And so that kind of concerned me quite a lot. And so therefore I created a resource pack for the people I book, and I email it to them. I discuss it on paper with them, but then I email them so that they can just click on the links, and it's not hard work for anyone to try and Google stuff or find stuff out. You need to try and make it simple and easy for people. They're busy people usually, particularly if they've got kids already. And, you know, they need to be able to have easy access to these resources. So I've kind of put this little bit of primarily me moaning about things together just to help perhaps support some of you, signpost people to the resources that can help them make informed choice during their journey. So before we can go there, we need to go back to our professional responsibilities and our code of conduct and our midwife proficiencies. So there are lots within the code of conduct. So I've just picked a few out here because I could fill pages up with things that relate to choice and also your professional responsibility in respect of choice and evidence and working in partnership with the people that you're caring for, be you a nurse or a midwife or a support worker. So the first one right at the top is we have to actually respect and uphold human rights. And you know, when we look at the proficiencies, it delves into that a little bit more. We have to respect as well that people may want to be actually very much more involved in the decisions about their health and well-being, and not just get on that NHS conveyor belt and accept everything that's thrown at them. We also, and most importantly, have to respect, support and document a person's right to accept or refuse care or treatment or treatment. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickly cough. And I think sometimes we forget that actually, that you know, everything within our service is a choice. And our job as healthcare professionals is to provide evidence-based information to help those that are in our care to make informed choices. And I think we're not as good at that as we could be. We often perhaps signpost people to hospital guidelines or sometimes national guidelines as well. But actually, when you dig into some of those, particularly the national guidelines, how truly evidence-based are they? NICE guidance, for example, has actually quite a low percentage that are based, of all their guidelines, that are actually based on grade A evidence. a lot of their guidelines are based on expert opinion, not grade A evidence. And remember, guidelines are exactly that. They are guidelines. So they're to help people make choices. We need to make sure that we act in partnership with the people in our care and signpost them to those resources that will help them make the evidence-based choices. We need to kind of balance that with the need to act in the best interests of people. However, you balance that against their right to say thank you very much or no thank you very much to what it is we would like to do or offer. In the proficiencies, going back to the human rights again, women have choice over their sexual and reproductive rights. I will always often say to people, pregnant people, this is your party. We're invited to your party, not the other way around. We're guests at their party. This is her body, her baby, her birth, her postnatal period. And we very much often, I think, make people fit into what is convenient for us as healthcare providers and not necessarily what's best for them. And sometimes we do take umbrage when people want to step outside that box and they don't want to fit into what is helpful for us. And I think we need to, take a step back and a long, hard look at us as healthcare professionals and midwifery and where it's going. It saddens me where we're heading. We're becoming more and more medicalised and forgetting that people do have choice. And it breaks my heart that we've traumatised people in the past so much that they no longer wish to engage with us. That I find really quite upsetting, that us as a healthcare system have done that to people, that they just don't feel they can engage with us at all. So, that does take away from that ability to working in partnership with women and looking at their individual needs, their preferences, their decisions, and actually strengthening their own capabilities to care for themselves and their baby. So, as I say, I choose to do these booking appointments because I feel actually if I can get in at the beginning, I can perhaps make a little bit of a difference to that woman's journey, and signpost her and at least give her some information to be questioning some of the things that we offer her. So, at booking, ask her what her preferences are, ask her what she wants, ask about her journey, how she got there, what was her previous experiences. And sometimes they'll be amazing and sometimes they won't. If they're not, then obviously look at and discuss with her how we can perhaps make that a better experience this time. What do we need to put in place beforehand to help her have a better experience this time? In line with your NMC code as well, we must document those discussions. We must, be open and honest and factual with what we've done, the information we've given, where we've signposted her to. So looking at some of the resources I've put together that I use a lot, these are some of my particular favourites, but there's lots out there. And I've put these on a document that I email to women with the links on so that they can just click on them and they haven't got to run around and find things. So Sarah Wickham's up there at the top. She's an amazing midwife researcher, has done all the hard work for us. If you're a student and writing essays and things, definitely go to Sarah Wickham. She's, as I say, done all the hard work for you, so it'll be a much easier job to write your essay looking at, you can find the evidence within her books for a wide variety of things. So I've got all of her books. So Group B, this was the first one of Inducing Labour. She's done another one called In Your Own Time, which is a more up-to-date version of the induction one. Her latest book is Plus Size Pregnancy. So anyone with a BMI over 30, definitely I signpost in the direction of that book. AIMS, Association for Improvement in Maternity Services, fantastic organisation, also have a lot of evidence-based information and books. So they've got this one, which is Your Rights in Pregnancy and Birth. They've also got one, Safety in Childbirth. They've got one on gestational diabetes and all sorts of other topics as well. Catherine Graves Hypnobirthing. I teach Catherine's hypnobirthing, but I am a big fan of her website because it has lots of free things on for parents, and again, free information leaflets on there that are evidence-based. Also has an online course which is not prohibitively expensive, and is very empowering for couples to really take that control back of their journey. Optimal Birth, Molly O'Brien, looking at various things that can be done to sort of optimise pelvic health and making more space for that baby. The NHS, of course, do have some wonderful resources as well. And I usually have the link on there to Keeping Well in Pregnancy, because there's lots of good information on there. Birthrights, as always, lots of very good information on there for parents. And ultimately, your consultant midwives as well. If you have someone in your care that is finding it difficult to access their choices for their journey, then signpost to a consultant midwife who can meet with them and have further discussions and put together a personalised care plan for them and for their journey. So some key points to think about. You have to keep the woman or the birthing person and their family at the forefront of your care and your thought processes. Listen to them. They should be, our care should be very much woman-centred. It should be about them, not about us and what fits into our system nicely and snugly and easily for us. Because actually that might not be what's the best for her. And as I've said before, this is their pregnancy, their journey, not ours. We are guests at their party, not the other way around. Listen to them, listen to what their concerns are, listen to what their wishes are and how we can best facilitate those. And that might require signposting to other healthcare professionals. There are excellent independent midwives, doulas, all sorts of things that can also help and support families have the birth experience they would like. We still have to support and advocate for the people in our care, and sometimes that can be quite uncomfortable, particularly when people don't comply, for want of a better word, with the usual pathway that we kind of have all got sort of sucked into, that NHS pathway that is pregnancy, and you have A at these number of weeks and B at that number of weeks, and we forget to remind women and their families that actually everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. They can accept or decline anything that we offer, and that includes vaginal examinations. And I have spoke before about this on other videos that I've done, and it is something, again, I do feel quite strongly about, because I have spoken to women recently who, when I have said this to them, essentially they've said, well, I thought I had a choice, but they did it anyway. Technically that's assault. We should not be doing anything to that person without their consent, and it should be informed consent. And I appreciate there's situations where that can be a little bit more tricky, but if they say no, no is no, and even though we might really want to do something, and it may be very helpful to do something, if she declines, she declines. If they have capacity, it is their choice. And ultimately, document everything. Document your discussions, document where you've signposted them to, um, and hopefully, we will make a little dent going forward in this sort of medicalised midwifery conveyor belt that has become maternity in the NHS. So hopefully that you found that interesting.